Okay, hello everyone. Okay, 3, 2, 1 here, and I'm bringing you the second part of this Halo Reach demo that I have going right now in the background. I'm going to talk about a topic that's very controversial that I tend to watch about it on YouTube, and I talk to friends about it. I have certain friends, like me and him we're completely insane, and we like the coolest computers at the quietest things, or he wants the loudest crap. I like the quietest stuff personally. But he likes water cooling, so do I. But I have friends that like refuse to use it. I have one that's adamant about it. He refuses to use it. My one friend just openly admits he just don't want to short anything, which I understand. But closed loop water cooling solutions, except for Corsair ones that use like plastic tubes, which I'll get into later, basically negate that effect. So my topic I wanted to discuss today was just a topic I felt like discussing for fun, because it would give me a nice long, like 10-minute video, probably. Because I'm going to have this gameplay going for the first like 6 minutes. Then I'm going to have a Camtasia where I'm going to show you 2 examples of completely opposite things. Okay. One of them is a closed loop that's by Corsair, is popular known, the H100. And one's one I saw by Swiftech. They're both dual rad, but they're completely different. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of water cooling and air cooling. Both. So let's get right into it. Okay, a pro of air cooling. There's not any risk of you shorting something or anything like that if you go completely insane water cooling. You know, air cooling is the most stable cooling. You can just buy it cheap, with the exception of the Noctua NHD14, and I think there's a new one by Thermaltake that's like completely insane, like 8 heat pipes. Yeah. Any solution like that might be the exception to the rule, but mostly air cooling's cheaper than any like water cooling unit equivalent to what it does, because there are some water cooling units that are dirt cheap, but they suck. They have really thin radiators and are useless, unless you just want a quiet machine. And another pro is like, really, the only pro that I can think of right now for air cooling, I don't have notes for this, but one of the main pros is that it's the cheapest and it's the safest. And anyone can help you with it. Like, there are simple instructions of how to put it on. You just mount back plates and crap, and you just put it on, and then you know it's going to work 100% of the time. Most of the time. And let's get into water cooling, because this is where I thrive, because this is where I do most of my research. One of the main pros of water cooling, really, is if you're a complete insane overclocker, you're going to get far better results on either the really high-end closed-loop setups or just custom water cooling jobs. When you water cool a computer, it becomes a lot cooler, and if you use the right fans, it can become a lot quieter and give you way better performance. Like the Noctua NHD14 is probably the only exception of it gives you quiet, but with the same performance as most closed-loop liquid cooling solutions. It is the only, other than that Thermaltake one, which I have not seen any benchmarks for. I don't even know what it's called, but I've just seen it like massive cooler with like 8 heat pipes, dual 140s. Yeah, ridiculous. But when you get a closed loop water cooling solution, I'm trying to think of an example. Thermaltake Water 2.0 Pro and Corsair H80 are two perfectly comparable, or Corsair H70 even better. They're single thick radiators. When you have a thick radiator, that means you probably have a bigger reservoir, if I'm not mistaken. Thicker radiators, bigger reservoir, and you can cool the water down faster, and it gets colder as it goes through the closed loop solution. Okay. So the thicker the radiator you have, the cooler your stuff actually is. So that's why you don't if you want to go insane, you get the Water 2.0 Pro over the H70 or the H80. Well, not really, no. The Water 2.0 Pro over like the Water 2.0 Performer or like the H40. And I would go with the Water 2.0 Pro over the H80 because just the tubes, which I'm going to go into later, but And then if you want to go really insane, you go dual rad. But if you have a dual thicker radiator, those are a pain to get in cases, so I'm not sure what you want to do. H100 or Water 2.0 Extreme. A little iffy on that because the Water 2.0 Extreme is massive. It has those nice Thermaltake rubber tubing. And Corsair uses plastic tubing, which I really don't like. Because I've heard stories of where people will start them, they'll get it when it's like ice cold, they'll throw it on their computer, they'll boot it up, their tubes will crack and break, and then water will go out. So I'd much rather use rubber tubing, which is, I'm going to go into that now. When you use rubber tubing in something, in like anything, on any water cooling solution, it's more flexible so you can put it in more areas of your case. So since you can put it in more areas of your case, it's a lot more effective. You know what I mean? Like, what I mean by effective is it's more flexible. So if you have a Water 2.0 Pro, you can put it on the back of your case, or at the bottom of your case, or at the top of your case, because you can bend and flex the tubes so it'll work better. So that's why if I was looking at a closed loop solution, I'd go for like a Thermaltake Water 2.0 Pro, Water 2.0 Extreme. Because I don't like the thin rads, I might as well go out and buy an air cooling unit. I'm serious. But that's about it as far as my rant on tubing and crap of water cooling. So the main pros of water cooling